Hello all. First of all, thank you very much for joining the webinar. My name is Anand and we all at Rian team are very happy and excited to host this webinar for you. So from several groups on WhatsApp and on Facebook, many people were asking us what is a CAT tool, what is Rian, and some people even were asking how did we start with the company. To answer all these questions, I thought I should create a webinar that will help you hit the ground running with the latest technologies in translation industry. So what is the goal from this session? So by end of this session, you will understand the high level dynamics of technology and you will learn how to partner with the technology to grow professionally as well as financially. I hope that this is what you are expecting from this session. If not, please feel free to reach out to us. We would be more than happy to create additional webinars if you want to learn something new from us. So before diving deep, let me give you a quick background about me. I did my engineering in instrumentation and I did my advanced diploma in Japanese from Pune University. So in the early years of my career, I worked in technology companies and then moved to the financial companies. I got excellent opportunity to work in both Japanese companies as well as global companies working in Japan. So just as a quick summary, I lived in Japan for 12 years, worked with NTT Communication, Tata Music Technologies, Citigroup, etc. I'm currently heading a passionate team at Visitech from 2013 and FTB Communication from 2014. I founded Rian with my super creative and dedicated teammates. And if you are wondering who are behind creating this tool, here is our super passionate team that is burning the midnight oil to create a wonderful legacy that could be useful for many years to come. So what is the agenda of this session? We will cover the following points in the webinar. The first one is knowing the power of CAT tool. CAT is abbreviation of computer assisted translation tool. Then the second part will discuss tools for structuring success. Third part is putting it into the practice where we'll have a Rian demo. And the last part would be the Q&A session where you'll be able to ask us questions and we'll answer your questions. So let us start with the first topic. In this session, we will start with high-level understanding of AI, artificial intelligence. Then we'll discuss applications of AI. Then we will just cover evolution of machine translation. So how machine translation started and where it is today. And then the fourth part that we'll cover is what are CAT tools. Okay. So let's go into the first part, which is what is AI. So essentially, right, artificial intelligence is a broad term that refers to any computer system that replicates the human intelligence. The real opportunity in artificial intelligence lies in the ability to perform pattern recognition to automate repetitive tasks. So, you know, whether you like it or not, AI is creating a huge impact on our lives. You have likely used it in your daily commute, searching on web, checking your latest social media feed. So there are several applications, you know, countless applications, but a very interesting application is Uber that we see like on day-to-day basis. Uber changes the price based on demand and supply of drivers and also based on the traffic. One more interesting example that I personally like the most is Amazon's books recommendation. I was really surprised by their analytics to recommend me the books for my next read. So as we all know, machines can process a huge amount of data and they are very scalable. The best part of machines, you know, that again I like is machines can learn and they can unlearn and they can learn again. Right, so this is a fantastic, you know, this is something not possible with the humans. Now let's look on the right hand side of the slide. As you could see, you know, artificial intelligence like is a very broad topic. Artificial intelligence has you know, machine learning, deep learning, and these machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence, they often are used interchangeably. One way to visualize the relationship is through the series of concentric circles. You know, as you could see, AI is the macro topic, like a top level, then machine learning, and then you will see the deep learning. Now let's look at what are the different branches of AI. This is not the exhaustive list, but it will give you an idea about different parts of AI. The first one is machine learning, which has deep learning and predictive learning. There are several applications of deep learning, including recent advancements in driverless car, and this field is growing rapidly. Now the second part is quite related to the CAT tool, which is natural language processing, that uses the machine translation. And the application, the three parts like in it are translation, classification, and info extract. Now the third part is speech recognition, which has speech to text and text to speech applications, and Rian uses them as well. The fourth one is robotics. This is primarily used in machine industries, but mechanical industries, but we are seeing some robotic software tools as well. Then the fifth one is something that we use a lot, and it's still learning, so which is vision, and primarily it is used in OCRs, right? When we translate the documents, we really want them to be especially the PDF files, we really want them to be in the editable format, and OCR helps us to do that process. So CAT tools uses machine translation. So let's look into the machine translation, and which is very interesting and very relevant as well, because we are currently using Google, but we really need to know what's happening behind this Google screen, how the machine translation works. So machine translation journey started with the rule-based machine translation, right, like in early 50s. Where direct machine translation was it started with the direct machine translation. This is the most straightforward type of machine translation. It divides text into words, translate them, then slightly corrects the morphology and harmonizes the syntax to make the whole thing sound about right. The output returns the basic translation, which is generally not accurate. Modern systems do not use this approach at all. Now the second part is transfer-based machine translation. So in contrast to the direct translation, transfer-based machine translation, first it finds the grammatical structure of the sentence, then the whole construction are constructions of the sentences are manipulated. This helps to get quite a decent conversion of the word order in translation. However, this approach is also not does not produce a good quality translation. Now the third one is interlingua machine translation. In this method, the source text is transformed to the intermediate representation. So there is like one more separate language that is created, and it is unified across all the world's language. It was a great concept. However, in practice, it's extremely hard to create such interlingua, and the method was not accurate as well. So all these methods, like initial methods, had their challenges. After that, right, the example-based machine translation was introduced. Japan was very much interested in exploring more about the machine translation, especially because very small percentage of Japanese population knew English, at that time, and even now. So rule-based machine translation for English to JP was extremely complicated, right? Earlier method was very complicated. And particularly due to the differences in the language structure. So if you know Japanese and English, the language structure is very different. So the rule base was a complete failure. So they started with this example based machine translation. And in 1984, Makoto Nagao from Kyoto University came up with the idea of using ready-made phrases instead of repeated translation. In other words, example-based machine translation is the idea of translation by analogy. But again, it also had its own challenges, but it was example-based machine translation was tremendous improvement over rule-based machine translation. And it also performed in better than any of the earlier methods. However, this was still not the perfect machine translation, and hence further ways were explored to improve upon it. So statistical machine translation in early 1990s at IBM Research Center, a machine translation system was first shown, which knew nothing about the rules and linguists as a whole. All right. So SMTs, this statistical machine translation, utilizes statistical translation models whose parameters stem from analysis of monolingual and bilingual corpus of data. These models are learned from parallel corpus, and they are language independent. And the best part was the need of linguist was not there in this method. However, again, you need to have a huge data set to work on this. And I mean, while it was a great improvement, right, like over all the previous methods, again, the companies that didn't have enough data, they had a problem of underfitting. In machine translation terms, underfitting means the model does not fit the training corpus data due to the less availability of the data. And it destroys the accuracy of the model. So to overcome this, neural MT was introduced, and again, I think it changed the complete picture now. So neural machine translation has emerged as the most promising machine translation approach in recent years. This neural machine translation does not require any domain knowledge and trains multiple features parallelly. This is what we see in our Google translation, or even for that matter, all the NMT based neural machine translation based translations. So I hope this has given you a good idea about what are the different types of machine translations. Those were evolved like over the past couple of decades. But again, I have created a short course to help you understand them in detail. And if you're interested, just reach out to me and I'll be happy to share the free coupon of that course. So let's look into the next topic, which is what is a CAT tool. We'll discuss about the CAT tool. And what has happened, I've seen that many people think that CAT tool is just an empty tool and it will do a whole translation, but this is not the CAT tool. CAT tool is software to support and collaborate the translation process. So it helps you. You will be able to leverage the CAT tool to translate, but it will not do the complete translation work for you. It is very important for you to understand that, like, what is CAT tool. Okay, now let's go to the second section, which is tools for structuring success. Right? I mean, what are we going to cover in this section? The first part is challenges and solution. We'll discuss about the philosophy behind developing Ryan and how it differentiates itself, and some interesting stats about Ryan. So let's dive deep into the challenges and why a CAT tool, using CAT tool is important. So what we did, over the past 5 years, we have talked to a lot of translators. We have done like our own research, and what we found that the challenges the translators face are any of these 7 challenges. So first is client deadlines, like they are stringent. Then high quality requirements, complaints about subjectivity. So for example, some clients are using their own ways, and again, I mean, there is no way that like we can define that this is accurate and this is wrong. So it's the subjectivity is also like comes into the picture, where they provide the glossary. Sometimes they don't provide the glossary as well. Then missing numbers, right? Like, I mean, since we are doing a lot of things manually, I mean, it's very easy to miss the numbers. Then fifth one is frustrating, manual efforts, especially in formatting. I mean, we do a lot of formatting, then it's very difficult to set up the indexes. I mean, we face a lot of problems while, doing the such manual efforts. Then difficulty in team and client coordination. And seventh one, which is very important and which is very relevant recently, because since like there are a lot of tools that are developed, clients are asking for they are negotiating very hard. So there is a huge price pressure as well. So again, to answer these, I mean, these are the answers why you should use some good CAT tool. The first reason is it increases the speed, it improves the quality, it ensures the consistency across the document. It increases the accuracy. For example, numbers, right? Like, I mean, it's very easy to, misrepresent the numbers when you're doing things manually. I mean, especially when you're doing a huge assignments, right? So it increases the accuracy with its QA features. Easy formatting and review, right? Like, you don't have to worry about the frustrating manual efforts in the formatting. Then easy collaboration and project management. And in other words, right? Like, I mean, you want to always work less and earn more. So working on that part is also very important when you are fighting for price or price pressure on you. So now let me discuss why we started, right? Like Ryan, and this is something very interesting story. One of our clients from Japan, he asked us that why don't you help us like with the translation? Since I'm a bilingual, I speak Japanese, so client thought that okay, I can do translation as well. So he asked me that why don't you help us like with the translation, and we took that assignment in the initial days. Then what happened? We started building a team. I hired really very talented people, talented and experienced people, and in fact, like we also hired one native Japanese person. Who was working on very high quality requirements. And what happened? One of the clients, right? Like he sent us one report and he asked us that could you help us translate this report? We were doing it for almost 1.5 years afterwards, and there was a day when we made a mistake in the translation, and in the report, right, like it was written appreciation in yen, and we basically translated it as a depreciation in yen. And imagine, right, like when you have a native person as a reviewer, we had as a project manager, we had a very experienced 15 plus years experience native translator as well as like one experienced reviewer. Then also we made this mistake. We just thought that there could be a way to improve this process, and that's when we thought, okay, let's think about doing it in different ways, and that's where we started creating small tools. And last year we thought that okay, we have a lot of tools, then why can't we like package it like in one tool? And that's how Rian was born. So it's basically from past 2-3 years we have been working very hard on finding out like small areas, and it's basically like a quite a lot of effort that our team has put in. So that's like a quick history about Rian. Now let me tell you like what we believe, like what we are at core, right? So I would like to discuss that part as well, and how we try to differentiate ourselves. We are not like actually competing like with any other tools, because we have our own philosophy, and we believe that we are working with the way market is heading. So first of all, right, like we understand that there is going to be a shift in the market. So what I mean by shift is services by large companies, large agencies, large big companies. That is now going to be changed to services by network, right? Like such as Uber, Urban Collabs, Swiggy. There are a lot of examples that where you could see that service is done by now network. So I believe that eventually the service will be done directly by translators as opposed to big agencies. So there is going to be a shift in the market. Second is I have seen a lot of tools. They try to honor, they try to do this for big corporates or agencies, but very few tools are focused on translators. We really want to honor great translators. We really want to ensure that they get a lot of work. They basically like find out like different ways to monetization. And if you are really a great translator, we really want to reward you in some or the other way. So this is something, what we are at core, and this is what like represents us. And how we differentiate, as I mentioned, right, like we really don't want to differentiate like by feature, because I believe that like other tools would be also great. We have put a lot of efforts. We are doing things a little bit differently than what the others are doing. Our goal is to create a tool that is extremely simple and like having more intuitive user interface. And you will see when you will start using it, you will try to see the efforts that we have put in behind this. Our goal is to create a tool which can be used without manual, and that's what what I mean by simple. Second is very important, and especially like in the Indian context as well, we want to create something which is affordable. We want to give more value for less investments. So this is something our focus, and that is one of the reasons we are getting a huge traction from users, and we are also seeing a lot of support from the translation community. Now the third important point is create job opportunities and revenue generation opportunities. And look, believe me or not, that is the most important part for us. We are continuously as a freelancers, what we have seen is that the demand is not continuous, right? There are spikes. When there is work, there is a huge work. When there is no work, there are a few months, you have to wait for the work. So some period of time you have to wait for the work. Then the fourth one, right? Personally, I'm a big fan, of creating social use cases and Although, right, like, I mean, it's not going to help us commercially, but I really want to create a huge impact on that part as well. So we really want to like work on social use cases. And just to let you know that, like, I mean, we are working with many such NGOs. I mean, recently, like, we started working with Dikshit Diet program, and we are very happy that like we have provided the support, and we are using something crowdsourcing, and we are also working with Vanchit Vikas, and we really want to work with NGOs as well. So that's where we want to differentiate ourselves. Now, one more is education and tool support. So what I have seen that there are very few platforms where you would see the education, and I think ALP, there are like some groups that are creating like a huge impact. But we really need to come up with a lot of such opportunities to ensure that we are creating a good platform. So again, with the help of ALP and like with the help of all the translation community in Pune, we have started few webinars, and we are seeing some really good response. The first webinar was by Dr. Damle, and that was for young translators. Second webinar was by Mr. Godbole, and it was how to effectively leverage your domain expertise in translation. So he gave a lot of insights on that. The third webinar was very interesting as well, where Mr. Kale discussed the use of CAT tools in translation. So that was also very valuable. Mr. Kale is polyglot, and we could hear a lot of interesting insights that you won't find on just like reading on internet or watching YouTube videos. So it was a very, very interesting sessions, and we are planning to have even more interesting sessions in future. And we are also creating Rian certification program primarily for training the CAT tool, because that is also something that what we have seen is that very few translators are leveraging technology to effectively translate. So this is also something that we want to differentiate, and we are doing a lot of hard work to work on that part. Now let me discuss about statistics. We are currently supporting 40 languages, and out of that 10 languages are Indian languages, and primarily we are covering all the important Indian languages. Now we are currently supporting 20 plus file formats, and there are already 3,000 plus users using our tool. We have 50 million words we have already translated, and we are getting a very good traction, and we are very happy that like we are able to contribute on that part. Then we were recently covered like in press as well. Many newspaper, like local newspaper in Pune and Maharashtra, they covered us, and we are very happy that the press is also thinking that this is something that could bring some good change in the society. Then to summarize this webinar, the first part of the webinar, I would say, first of all, right, like if you're not using CAT tool, it doesn't matter like which one are you using, but please start using CAT tool. It will speed up your translation process. Now the second important part is, yes, AI powered platform CAT tools will play a huge role, right? There is going to be a need of high quality human review in future. So please ensure that we are with Rian, we are providing two types of services. When one is just AI, which could be useful for quick translation of the documents, but high quality translation would definitely require human intervention. So ensure that you are creating your own own forte, like in specialty, like in few domains, and ensure that like you focus on this high quality human review area, which is going to be the future. So yes, I hope that this is what I have covered now first two parts. My colleague now will take you through the important features of Rian. I hope you find this webinar helpful, and we really hope to hear your feedback and comments. Thank you so much. Thank you.